Boston on the roads and in the air. But I will say we are going to see some gusty winds, and so that could cause problems. Right now, green light go across the country. It's still quite early, so all the planes and people are in the right places so they can take off. And taking off is, easy, relatively speaking, to landing, and you have to separate if there's clouds and the whole thing. So some delays into Boston with that wind. Buffalo, listen, if the snow stays south of the airport, you'll be okay. It's amazing how much of a difference that could be. But if that line goes right over the airport, then we're crushed. We're already getting hammered into places like Hamburg. Detroit, with that wind, it could be problematic. And in the south, you are good to go because there is just a lot of sunshine and nothing to worry about. So let's have a closer look at some of those delays from yesterday. We did have delayed flights in the 400s from D.C. to Boston, New York, all the way into Newark as well. And you can see that the cancellations, D.C. topped the list and Boston was right below it there. Today, we will have the winds, but at least you don't have the rain and that low visibility. The winds can be very problematic, and they can make for very bumpy flights for us here. And that's what we could potentially see, Jordan, across the Great Lakes and Northeast.
Well, let's head west and take a look at this fast-moving Franklin front.
Welcome back into America's Morning Headquarters. We've got an Arctic high-pressure system sweeping across the northern plains. The pressure gradient between that and our messy low that's leaving. The wind is creating heavy lake effect snow. Some areas downwind of the lakes expect to see more than a foot. We could see 2 feet in the Tug Hill Plateau. And that system is bringing some of the coldest air of the season with our morning wind chills this morning at well below freezing. We're talking 30 below. Of course, Jordan, if you are minus 40 on the Fahrenheit scale and minus 40 on the Fahrenheit scale, it's the same. There's no conversion. That's the only time you don't have to do the math, when it's 40 below, and we're close to that in our wind chills.
Every time I do the math from Celsius to Fahrenheit, vice versa, I feel like
you can dive into Deepwater Week today and tomorrow at 10/9 Central right here on the Weather Channel, and at 2/1 Central on the weekend right after Pattern. I don't know, with all this cold air, all I can think about is that water's got to be freezing, Lynette, though I know it's not everywhere freezing, but it can get cold underwater, even if it's still warm water after a while.
Exactly. So let's stay with that cold.
But nobody's moving. That is a terrible sign, an absolutely terrible sign. We'll continue to keep following that for you. Right now, everything's fine at the airports. Green light go. Obviously not the case if you're on the roads. We could have some slowdowns today with some of that wind around the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. In the South, we've got the sunshine, and we have our next system that's going to impact the center of the country this weekend, coming into San Francisco right now, bringing some showers into the Northwest. So let's have a look at what we are dealing with airport-wise. Yesterday was a horrible day. 5,000 delays, over 300 cancellations. I don't think it's going to be as bad today, but you'll certainly feel that turbulence, and we're already getting reports on the West Coast and also into the Northeast. We still have those gusty winds, and that's where we could see more of these turbulence reports as we go through the day. A light turbulence for us here with those winds, Jordan. Things will get better as we head into tomorrow, but I'm most worried about the roads.
Me too. Honestly, they're already coming.
Welcome back to America's Morning Headquarters. We have some significant lake effect snow coming off the lakes going into Hamburg, New York. Now, this is I-90. And I'm blanking on the interchange where it said 50, what was it, 50 what? I just looked it up, literally 57, I think it was. So what I want to tell you is we can see down here cars are slowly moving. But these cars on the overpass, it has been legit 10 minutes. They have not moved. And so I worry because that lake effect band is still right over them. We'll show it to you in a minute. But the fact that it's been 10 minutes, they haven't moved. This is where you run into problems where plows can't get in and then cars can't get moved. And then you have to have rescues. People can die in situations like this from the cold and the snow. And thankfully, everyone's moving very slowly here, but I'm not sure why we haven't moved here. And it's very concerning. Again, this is 90 and the 57 interchange in Hamburg, New York. And we've already had double-digit snowfall since this morning, and as you can see, more is still coming down. And Jordan, this is it's a bad sign out here that people are even on the road like this.
And it's obviously a terrible situation if you're running on it.
Divers can get trapped underwater. That is like my biggest nightmare. You can dive into Deepwater Week today and tomorrow, 10/9 Central, right here on the Weather Channel, and at 2/1 Central on the weekend right after Pattern. pattern. That's why I never got my scuba license, Lynette. I was always so paranoid if I got too deep. How would I get up? Would I have enough oxygen? It's just like it's too stressful.
Yeah, and thinking that my oxygen would run out.